Welcome. This is part 2 of the Christmas ABC, My Little Golden Journal Kit Journey. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through how I made the wonderful dangles and the bow and how we lovingly decorated and stuffed our book. Let's begin the fun part. Now we get to decorate and add to the Christmas ABC book that we've altered. So I want to walk you through my process. I'm going to share it with you because I found that it's the best way for me, number one, to know all the things that I could put in. Number two, what I've done is I've cut everything out, all the ephemera. I have edged everything with my ink. Anywhere that was a hole, because it was supposed to be a tag, I've gone ahead and punched them all, and I've added ribbons and baker's twine, whatever. So my point is I have everything ready. Can you see my table here? So all the pieces that came in the kit, I may not use them all, but they're all ready. Everything's got their, like I said, twine and stuff like that, and it's all darkened. Here's why I find this is so much more fun. Because if I sit and do it, I can sit and do this when I'm watching TV or something, downtime after I cut everything out. Now I'm on my desk. I'm going to be on camera, and all I have to do is go, oh, let's put this there, and then I glue it in. So I get to actually go quicker in the decorating, and for me, it's kind of like a creative flow happens. Okay, so that's the first thing. So this is all of the ephemera from the kit. The other thing that I do is, and I do this for any kit that I'm making, I go and grab things that I think I'm going to use. So I've grabbed some of the fun Christmas ribbons. Again, these are from Dollar Tree. And I'm thinking I use these for belly bands, whether they're horizontal or they're vertical, tie bows. You can use little snippet pieces and make like a little tag top. Okay, so I've got the wide ones. Let's put those over there. Got this at Dollar Tree, and these are really fun. I ended up using these in the Night Before Christmas book. Let's see here. I put them right there. Let me show you. So what I did here was I just glued it on the top. So it's kind of like a little tab, right? So that's really fun. So if you can find those. And then I found a package of snack bags, and I got this at a store locally. No, I maybe have got these at Dollar General. So these are really fun. The reason they're fun is, look, they got Merry Christmas on both sides. But what I did was I cut them here and then just glued that together. And so it makes a great pocket. And it's got, it's our Christmas color. So if you want to do that, you don't have to add any of this. I'm just showing you the things I've gathered. I also got this from Dollar Tree. This was $1.25. These are mini little package gift tags, right? But they just work so perfectly in these books, and they're already done. So it gives you a little bit more dimension if you want to use those. The other thing that I love to do is I love to add some papers, quote, for journaling or for fun. So if you're making this to give us a gift, these are fun. If you're making it to document your own Christmases, totally fun. So I found this holiday word search. I found this definitely at Dollar Tree. Yeah, I found this at Dollar Tree. And it's so cute. I got 2 of them. They were $1.25. I found this at Dollar General, Winter Wonderland Coloring and Activity Book. You might try Dollar Tree. Maybe they have it. And so I just pulled some of these pages out, and I've gotten those ready because they make a fun thing to insert into some of your pockets. So here, and look, they're joyful. It's a Wonderful Life. So definitely Christmassy, and some of them are faith-based. So I'm going to put that in my stack of things that we can possibly use. Okay. And what I want to start with now, before we do our decorations, is I want to read the story to you. This is, as I said, I'm going to go back and tell you my story of how I've created these new My Little Golden Journal kits. I'm going to be doing this for the next year. I watched so many videos of women altering the little golden books. And at first, when I watched them like 6 months ago, I went, okay, whatever, I'm not really into that. And then I watched one about a month ago, and it was a Christmas one. It was the night before Christmas. And then there was another one that I saw somebody did, one of the faith-based ones. And they talked about in their entire video how to alter the book and all that. It's great, not criticizing. But what I thought about was so strange is not one of the people that I have watched their videos even comment or talk about the actual original Little Golden Book story. And so as I was looking through some of these books, I went, wait, they actually tell a really cool story. They're the traditions of Christmas. And what if I were to make a junk? So that was the first thing. And so I asked myself, it would be fun to have a junk journal kit that would actually add to the story and take it from just a Christmas tradition to let's tell the real reason for the season, which is all about Jesus being born. So that was my first thought and process of making these little golden journal kits. Second thing was so many of the people talk about, oh, look at this piece of paper that I found, and this is original vintage graphics from 1950. Well, where I live in Florida, because I've only been junk journaling since I lived in Florida, there's no stores around here. Plus, it would take me a lot of time, a lot of money, because I'd have to be driving to wherever these stores are, if I can even find real vintage ephemera. But I have real vintage ephemera that I have scanned in and I use in my digital kits. And so why not add, so you don't have to go out and buy all this vintage ephemera. I'm going to give it to you in my digital kit. I'm going to give you these really awesome vintage graphics, okay, and just make a whole kit for you to actually add the real reason for the season, the Christmas story. So that's my story about why I'm creating these. Well, let's look at the Christmas ABC story. So I made a cover page, a little golden devotional, the ABCs of God's greatest gift, learning the alphabet and living the faith. So that's how I'm trying to tie in what was actually in the book. So the original story said A is for angels, looking down from above, the guardians of heaven that sing of God's love. So there is some faith in these, but I want to go a step further. So I went and did some research and wrote a Bible study, and I wrote Connecting the Letters to Christ. Let's look at some letters that point us directly to the heart of Christmas. Well, as they said, A is for angels. In the Bible, they were the messengers of God's glorious plan, bringing the best news the world had ever heard. Every time you see an angel ornament, remember the host of heaven is praising God. And the Bible verse for that is Luke 10. So hold on where I have the Bible verses, because I ended up giving you the Bible verses. I printed them out. So Luke 10 was, but the angel said to them, do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. So here is a way to add actually God's word. Well, then let's look at G is for giving. And when you get to G in their story, G is for giving of gifts to each other, a package for daddy and something for mother. And let's give a present to some girl or boy who surely would like a nice Christmas toy. Well, if we look at the G is for giving, while gifts under the tree are wonderful, and that's where secular Christmas has taken us to, is just focusing on the gifts, having the perfect decorations, having the perfect house. They are only a reflection of the first and greatest gift, the gift that God showed us the deepest form of love by giving us his son. And of course, that's John 3:16. And that's this one. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. John 3:16. So see how we're able to bring God's word into this story. Well, then they did V is for voices, and that's way here in the V. V is for voices of boys in the choir, but they're singing God's praises in festive attire. Yes, they are. Okay. Now, what I wrote is V is for voices. The angels' voices filled the skies with praise. Our own voices, whether we're singing carols or simply praying, join that eternal chorus of worship. And then that is Luke 2:13-14. Suddenly, a great company of the heavenly host appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace to those on whom his favor rests." Luke 2:13-14. So we've got our 3 Bible verses. And then, of course, J is for Jesus, because he's the beginning, the middle, and the end of our Christmas celebration. Every light, every gift, every song is ultimately meant to honor the King who came as a tiny baby. And that's what the Christmas season is all about, right? So then I just gave you a little closure that this Christmas, as you craft and create with this ABC kit, use each letter as a gentle reminder to share your faith, bringing the Christmas ABCs to life with the good news. Okay, and then I gave you my title page, and I should have read this. This is kind of like the overview. The Christmas ABC Little Golden Book is a delightful way to explore the symbols and traditions of the season. Now, as parents, we often use the alphabet to teach our children fundamental concepts. At Christmas, we have the most wonderful opportunity to teach them the fundamentals of our faith using the familiar letters as stepping stones back to the manger. We cherish the Christmas tree, the gifts, and the stories of Santa. And these traditions add joy to the season. But by focusing on a few special letters, we can bridge the gap and ensure that the real story, the birth of Jesus, remains the beautiful, unshakable center of our celebration. So that's what I've given you. Now, if you give this as a gift, isn't that wonderful? If you were giving this as a gift to, say, your children who are parents, maybe, for your grandchildren, write them a little note on any piece of the ephemera that we have, and just say, hopefully this will help you tell the Christmas story, the real Christmas story, which is that Jesus was born. I want to add lots of pockets so that we can put in all this fun tag ephemera. And what I've done is, I'm going to show you, I've taken some of the extra pieces that I didn't insert into the signatures, but I've already printed them. So let's trim them and let's make us some pockets that we can then stuff. So I'm going to cut that one like that. Now, that might not work, but that would be a fun pocket. So let's leave that until we decide on what page it is. And then we've got this top part. Now maybe this is better done this way, right? So let's cut it at the fold. And then that would be a fun piece. Look, that would work. So there we've got that. Nothing really on the back of that. This would be a really fun piece. We can trim that. So we've got those. Okay, and this piece, I love the vintage ledger stuff. So here what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to trim this. So you see I'm still preparing, right? That's what I was trying to explain to you. Now, what I'm going to do on this is I'm going to make 2 different kinds of pockets. We're going to leave that one as a horizontal. We could actually trim this and make this a vertical pocket, or we could make it like that. Let's do that because I think I would like to have one that kind of goes that way. So now there's a nice pocket. If it's too deep, then I could just cut it that way. So we'll leave that there. And then this would definitely make fun vertical belly bands, right? So there's one for that. Let's have another one. Okay, so see, so we've got enough pieces. Now these, I hate cutting into these. This would be fun to make a belly band. Let's trim it that way. I love these graphics. Okay, let's trim this just with the girl, and then that would make a wonderful belly band. Look at that. Okay, and then we could use this. We'll just trim it. We'll see once we get into the kit. And this would make a cute one. Look, if we did this, trim it off just a little bit on the bottom. Okay, there's another good one. And that can be a good one too. Just depends on how we're going to do it. We could actually do let's do that. Let's do... There we go. Okay, I think we've got enough stuff. Let's start gluing. Let's take the first piece. I think what I'm going to do is go through and glue in my pockets, because stuffing them to me is always the last. Now, I'm probably going to get questions, so I want to just share something with you. In this book, do you see this kind of folded paper? As I said in my first video series about the Little Golden Books, I found a couple different ways that people altered the Little Golden Book signature pages. One of them was folding, and so I did the entire book folded. And when I was done, it took forever. I didn't like it at all, and I don't like the white. Like, look how bad that looks. But I had already done all the pages, so I wasn't throwing the pages away. So the way that I suggest you do them is what I showed you earlier in this video, which is we're going to slice them and use our washi tape. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out if somebody says, Diane, what the heck? That doesn't look like what I saw. And that's so cute. See, now I'm going to have a problem where I don't like to cover up stuff because the graphics are so pretty. That one will go well on there, I think. Now what I do is I just start, I'm not planning this whole thing out. That's too much work for me. I don't need to do all that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just make a big belly band with this. Okay, we'll add that one. Now, what else do we have? We have the girl. Does she go on that one? Let's find the perfect spot for the little girl, because I definitely want her in here. Those colors don't really go. Does she look good on that one? Well, that might work. Oh, but look. Oh, let's do that. Isn't that gorgeous? Because it's that same soft, fuzzy peach graphics that I was able to find that are just stunning. They're so pretty. They're kind of a pink, but they're like a coral pink. So go ahead. And we're going to put her on that page, so that's perfect. I really hope that you enjoy this new series, that you get to alter wonderful little children's books, but you get to bring your faith in, because everything that I do, right, I'm Faithart Design Studio, is about adding faith. Now, if you remember, this is an envelope. Now, because I didn't sew this in, I could pop this right back out and change it. But I kind of liked how I did it in, let me show you, in The Night Before Christmas, because I sewed it in and then I realized, oh no, I messed it up. And how I salvaged it. Hold on, let's see. Well, if I can find it. Okay, see what I did? I left the fold there and I just added a pocket and stuffed things in it, okay? Now, wherever the other side is, I can't find it really quick, but I think that's why I want to do it again that way. Okay, let's set that one aside. So I like that that's kind of red. So I don't think I want the pinks. Oh, well, look, we could do that. Even though I love that pink, what if we just added, look, that would work. We could add that. Okay, let me mark this. It's too wide, so we don't want it that wide. Okay, so if we put it like right there, and then it has to be like right there. Okay, let's trim that. And that's how we're going to alter that envelope. There we go, and then we'll trim where it's supposed to be. Okay. Even though we're going to use this way. There we go. And then how about we put a thumb thumb notch in it, which I think would look good. So at this point in this journey of altering this book, what you're doing now is creating the pockets, the places where we're going to tuck all the ephemera, okay? So I'm hopefully going to show you a couple ways, and I might speed some of this up because this could end up taking hours, which no one wants to sit there and watch that much. My goal now is just to really inspire you. Make this your own version, right? Okay, so we've got that pocket. We fixed that. Now what can we, let's see. And then on this, we need a little piece. You know what, some of these things. So some of the ephemera pieces that I give you, you can end up using in a different way, not just as a tuck. So maybe if we did this right here, right? And then we trim it off right there, then it becomes a nice little spot. I do like that. And I'm just gonna cut that one. So I always share, look at the ephemera that I give you, but you don't have to use it in that one way. It's going to tuck into something. Sometimes you alter it, fold it a different way, and it becomes, there's a different use to it. See, I like that. That looks good. Okay, so we finished that envelope. And now we need more pieces. We could put the little kids on there. Oh, wouldn't that look cute? Let's see, should we put it on that one? Oh, wait, if we bring the little kids over onto this page, I think that's even better. Okay, we have to trim the width. That's a little too wide. That works. Let's put a thumb notch. Oh, I have to be careful because I don't want to take off the top of their head. We'll just take a little one. I love this graphic, the vintage Santa, but he's all pink. Looks so pretty. I have so much fun making these kits. Finding vintage graphics that I have the copyright ability to actually use, to share with you, coordinating them all, putting them all together. See, now here's another way. We could take this and make that a pocket also. What do you think? I kind of like that. We got lots of other pages. Let's do that. I think that will work really fun. And I'm not going to put a thumb notch on this one. I'll just put that like that. And turn the page. And a piece of that bag I thought would be really cute to put here. Or do we want to put the Merry Christmas one right there? Which we could do. Let's do the Merry Christmas one. Okay, let me show you how I do this. Basically, I cut the bottom off. I save it because, as you can see, this is a piece from a green bag, okay? So we're going to have that like that. And then we're going to trim the top. But I probably should use my trimmer so that I trim it straight. I think I'm straight sometimes. No, so not. And keep this piece too, because we could use that. Okay, if we want to use this as a pocket, that will work. But what we have to do is we have to glue this stuff shut, okay? So before you glue the bottom, for me, I glue these gussets. Okay, so I'm just going to go down the whole way, glue that piece in. Let me do the same thing on this. Put lots of glue all over the place. Get that glued. Okay, now that works, but we should glue this down so that it opens as one. So these little snack bags that they always do for different holidays, they're really good to just pick up a package, like a Christmas one or a Thanksgiving one, right? And then when Easter comes, get an Easter one, because you can use them in so many ways. You can actually make little junk journals from them. But that's a whole other story. Okay, now we're ready to seal this up. And that will work just like that. Okay, so see how we made our own little pocket, and it works perfectly. So now we'll glue the whole back. And now we have a nice big pocket in the very back. Okay, let's go back to the front. Now, in my first one, the night before Christmas, I ended up covering this up, and then I since learned you don't want to do this because this tells you the copyright and the information about the little golden book. Now, these are brand new books. I'm just going to tell you, these are not vintage books, but I just think I should leave it there. And then I wouldn't want to cover that up either because that looks too cute. And then I don't decorate those pages. At this point, I don't, right? So I've got we've got the doily in there. So let's put something on here. Let's do this kind of belly band, right? Yeah, let's do that. Now, of course, you see me edging this, and that's because I didn't do these in advance. I was trying to show you how to use additional pieces. So you do actually want to print all the pages so that you have some left to make your pockets and things, okay? And over here. Okay, let me show you one other thing that I did differently. Okay, in the kit, in this ephemera page, okay, this comes like this. Now, you could cut these like that and then leave this folded and make it, just a little one. But I thought for this one, how fun is that? Look, we should just leave the whole thing open. So I cut it out as one piece. So there's lots of different ways to cut this piece to work it. So I think I don't want to cover up the little storybook. Oh, but maybe it looks better over here. Well, let's quickly audition it. And oh, that looks cute. Are we going to cover up our little Santas? No, I think I might like it there. Let's see. Is there any other page? We've already used that. We've used this one. Oh, I don't want to cover up the little kids. It could go over here. Joy and happiness, joy to the world. Oh, look. Joy and happiness, joy to the world. That actually, they complement each other. So what I'm going to do with this is we are going to glue this down on the page, and then we're going to leave it as a big opening. That's what I decided to do with this version. So I said, multiple ways to use this. I wanted to just show you before I glue this in. This is in the ephemera kit, and it's called a trifold, okay? Now, I want to show you how I do this. And I use this template over and over and over in all my kits. This comes down here, right? So what I do is I take a piece of, this is music paper or dictionary paper or something. I line the inside of it. Then I fold it and glue it up. I don't put anything on the back of the little cards that are on the bottom because they're going to be right there, and you know, that's okay. So I just wanted to show you, I did that with the envelopes in this kit also. I lined the envelopes. See, I did the exact same thing. So before I sewed that down, I lined it, okay? And what I think we're going to do with this one is we're going to put this right here. I think that would look cute there. So we're going to go ahead and glue this. Let's do our flip through. The Christmas ABC Little Golden Junk Journal is complete. And again, I'm very happy. You know, these are actually very joyful to make. I hope that you end up making one. This is going to be a series in my digital shop. I'm going to be using a lot of the different faith little golden books and creating kits. And so I think I'm looking forward to doing all those. So let's look at the side of this. So I've made a bow, and these are removable. And then I made this wonderful dangle. And most of this stuff is from Dollar Tree. The little snowman, the little Christmas tree with the bells, and a little drummer and some beads. Now, when I say they are removable, let me show you what I mean. Look how easy this is. How do you get them to be removable? Well, what I've done, and this is from Thrifty Day. I just made a big bow, and then I tie it on, can you see, a large 2-inch paper clip. That's all you have to do. And then that way it can come on or off for storage. The same thing with this. I just tied all of my little fun things together on the paper clip. So isn't that fun? And it fits right in between the two signatures. And I just think it's gorgeous when you look at it. Okay, let me walk you through what I've done. This is just to inspire you. I'm sure your ideas, you will make it even more than I did. Remember, this is a not sewn in. This is using the elastic version. And I've put the gold page corners on. Added lots of, I've tried to do red, white, and green in each of the signatures this time. And then I had fun. I have all these little rhinestone things. So I went back through and added rhinestones everywhere that just felt like it was appropriate. So I've already read you the story. I don't have to read the story again. Just going to show you. We made that pocket together, and then, of course, all of the fun things that are stuffed in there. This is a doily that we had inserted, and what I did was basically glue 2 of the tags. And, of course, I glued the A is for Angel tags because that's the page it's on. And then I used ribbon and made little tabs at the top. And then I added some more fun rhinestones. You're going to see rhinestones throughout this whole thing. This silver stuff is from Dollar Tree. It comes in lots of different colors. There's the silver one. I have a silver, a gold, a blue. So whenever you see that, get it because it's just good to have in your stash. And then full of all sorts of little tags that came in the kit. And then here was, I added Merry Christmas. This is one of the stickers. And then there's the little book for that. Added the Rejoice, added some white pom-poms. And then we made, I used one of the tall tags, the ABC tags. And then I've added some rhinestones to those and then just, you know, put lots of fun things in there. And then we used that piece of the snack bags and loaded that one up also. I put in one of those word finds on there. And then I did a bulb pin and just left my brain what that is. Anyway, I took 3 of this series of tags and I just hooked them all together. Ooh, I need to tie that in a knot, as I'm seeing that as I maneuver it, it moves. So let's tie that in a knot. So sometimes it's fun to just make like a little cluster, which is what that is. And then on our envelope, what did I put inside? I put one of the fun little gamey things in there. And then this is a piece of that ribbon that I just found at Dollar Tree with a star and another fun little gem. Added another Merry Christmas, added a piece of ephemera. And then I just used a big 2-inch gold paper clip to put our envelope. And I didn't put anything inside of there because I felt like that would be a place to like write a note to somebody if I was giving this away to them. And then we go through HI. There's the fun pocket that we cut out and made together at the beginning. And then I added just lots of blingy trims and then stuffed it with all the different tags and things that we got. Another piece of the ribbon with some bling on it. Added a sticker, Be Merry and Bright. I thought that just looked so pretty on that page. And then over here, this was one of the belly bands, and I added J's for Jesus because it's right there, and I thought that was so perfect with lots of tags. And as I said, I added gems. Just stuck a little tag on both of those. And then on this, I opened it, and what I told you about, the story that we read in the very front, I ended up making it in different parts so that you can see it throughout the rest of the journal. And then there's the verse. And then I just added some gems wherever there's like holly. Added some green pom-poms. Here's another, just a dangle. And that's the end of the first signature. The second signature, we added some white pom-poms. I used this mini file folder as a pull down and then added that as a pocket. So I thought that was nice. And then added a piece of the snack bag with a gem. We just added a gold gem for this side, and then we added more little red gems and a little mini paper clip and added this to there. Added a tag, Joy. So the reality is you just keep going through and you just keep adding and adding and adding. So there's the, the reason for the season, Jesus being born in the stable with lots of tags. And over here, the same thing, we had done that. I didn't do any other embellishment on that. I just thought it was so pretty the way it is. And then this one, this is a tag from Dollar Tree. It's a gift tag. And then I just attached it halfway and added the ABCs. Put some more little tags on the other part of the, every word I'm going to say right now, doily. I'm forgetting. Okay, and then on the other part of the envelope, we closed that up and I stuck some little tags in there. Added the Christmas tree that I thought was so cute. And then again, here's the story of what's in the book. So this is in the second signature, which I thought worked well. And some green pom-poms, another piece of ribbon. And this is a purchased to from gift tag, and we used that as a belly band. Here's the other side of the envelope with a big gem on it. Put some stuff in there. V is for voices across the page. So I like doing that, and I'm glad that I include those in the kits because it just really brings home the story of what you're reading. And then here's the baby Jesus and Santa, the traditional Santa. So there's just some fun things there. And then I used 2 tickets and made that as like a tab too. Okay. And then we go over here. We had used this piece, stuffed that. Y is for Yuletide, added the tree. This is the other part of the mini file folder that came in there, added red pom-poms. Added the little angel singing and a Merry Christmas. Didn't really do anything. I actually could take some glitter glue and put gold glitter glue on there. It would be fun. And then this is another piece from the snack bag, and added a sticker and filled it with tags. Another piece of the ribbon. And then the very last big tag pocket that we have in there. And we've got everything like that. So there is the Christmas ABC. And I hope that you will get one of the kits and you will find one of the books. You do have to buy your own little golden book. If you want to get a vintage one, go to thrift books, go to eBay. You can get them there. You can buy them brand new on Amazon. They're only $5 something. It just depends on what your purpose is. If you have a vintage one, that's awesome. Remember that the pages might be kind of brittle. But it was fun. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like this video, share my videos. I hope you're subscribed to my channel. If you get the chance to hype this video, that would be just a wonderful gift. That helps me spread the good news of Jesus Christ. And as I close this video, I just want to remind you that your creativity is a gift from God. And your faith is the message that we include in all of our creative junk journals that we make. So let the word of Christ dwell in you richly. And as you reflect his truth through your art. So until next time, keep creating with the purpose of spending time with God and sharing the good news.